Is actually going to unfold today?
Alicia, very good afternoon to you. Okay, so it's a secret vote, secret ballot as we are aware, and what that means is that the electronic way of voting as is normally done, that obviously won't be happening. So it starts off with the various debates. MPs from the various parties will be up at the podium. Depending on their size in Parliament, that will determine how many MPs they will have at the podium, and they will speak for and against the President today. Once that entire debate is done, the doors of the National Assembly will be locked, the bells will be rung, and the chamber will be prepared for the whole voting process. It's quite a long process, Alicia, excuse me. It's quite a long process. It's actually like going into a voting station for you and I when we vote on our election day. MPs will have three options. They will have a yes, a no, and an abstain. The question that will be put to them is obviously, do you vote for or against the President? That will be printed on the little ballot paper as well. And then alphabetically, one by one, they will go into the booths, because there'll actually be two booths. They will go into the booths and they will be able to cast their vote right there in the booth. The speaker has to show them the empty ballot boxes. Actually she would have to empty out the boxes to prove that there's nothing else in it, and then all the little ballot papers will go in there, and then the voting will commence. But that will happen later on. It's an entire process which we will be bringing to you live, obviously. With me, however, I do have SABC acting political editor, Mzwai Mbeche, who is going to be telling us, he's been tracking the President and the ANC's movements here in Parliament today. Mzwai, thank you so much for speaking to us.
Thank you very much.
What's happening behind closed doors? Do you have any inside information?
I'm sure you saw about a few minutes ago some of the ANC MPs coming out of caucus, and then they seemed very buoyant because they were singing, so they were going around, and at some point we thought it was Nehau members, because they normally do this perhaps, but it was the ANC MPs. So basically they had just concluded a caucus meeting, and guess what? In that caucus meeting the President was also there. So you can see they had just got the marching orders to say this is the party line. And then here even someone who is the subject today was there. So judging by what has been happening, you can see that maybe they got that renewed vigor that they have to maybe defend the ANC more than the President. And the other thing, the President has been doing his normal work. He's been attending the cabinet committees, and it's been business as usual.
Certainly not business as usual today here in Parliament for MPs and for journalists over here. Mzwai, if I compare the ANC chief whip's mood yesterday to what we just saw earlier on, there's a big difference. What can we speculate happened? I mean, you say that they've been given their marching orders. Do you think that they are a little bit more confident today?
Judging by what happened yesterday, I think it's safe to say the announcement by the Speaker yesterday took everyone by surprise, including the ANC. Perhaps that explains why maybe Jackson Tembe and them seemed a bit unsure. But after that, they've just had a meeting at the caucus, and that's why I said when they came out, they appeared very jubilant. So maybe when he did his calculations and then listening to them and the mood, then he felt, well, maybe there was no reason to panic after all, because they probably have got this. Because I think even the opposition, for me, I'm not actually sure if the opposition is going for this to win. But I think they just want to make a political statement. You must know that to achieve a motion of no confidence, you need 201 votes. 201 votes. Even if, let's say, the ANC MPs, 50 of them, vote with the opposition, it means all the opposition members must vote together. You must also take into account the issues of absenteeism, and I already know that for example, from the DA side, there are about 2 absenteeisms today. Someone is in hospital and the other one is in Tanzania. And it's the same thing on the ANC side as well.
2 deaths as well on the ANC side?
Two deaths. And, there's also that element. I think we need to also simplify this for our people so that they understand. So you need to reach the magic number, and the magic number is 201. Even if, for example, the opposition gets 195 and the ANC gets 185, it will not go through. Why? Because the magic number will not have been reached, 201, because this is a National Assembly constituted of 400 members, so you need 50 plus 1.
And we also have to take into account the fact that some MPs might abstain.
I assume perhaps those maybe from the ANC who for whatever reason will not want to vote for the president, they may not want to be seen to be voting against their own party or their own the direction of the party. So what they might just do, they will just abstain. So I expect a high number of people who would abstain today.
And another minister, deputy minister, in fact, who we haven't seen today is the Deputy Minister of Higher Education. We've all been looking for him as well for other reasons, so that's another one down for the ANC.
You know, my assumption is that obviously he knows that the focus is also on him, given the events of the weekend. So he doesn't want to be, there's a lot of media here and everyone is trying to look for him. So what might happen is that around 2 he might just sneak in, as it happened with the MP Ollis of the DA. You know, he came from the hospital, the one that was involved in a car accident, because he feels so strongly about this. And I think he will feel his duty to, even if at some point he may be relieved of his responsibilities, but I think he will feel his duty to do his part for his party.
I did in fact speak to Ian Ollis earlier on, and you can see that he's in a lot of pain, but as you say, he felt he needed to be here to fulfill his duty. So I thank you so much for speaking with us. Alicia, so it's now gone just 12. It's around an hour and a half to go before the NA sits, and we of course will be here updating you as to what's happening, so we will speak to you later on.
All right, thank you so much to our reporter there, Abra Barbier, right outside of Parliament, who was just outlining the process of how that motion of no confidence vote is actually going to take place. I was about to ask her if there's been reinforced measures of security, but it seems like we cannot get a link towards her. But we'll definitely try and establish that throughout this bulletin. But there is a strong police presence.